An artist's life is dedicated to pushing boundaries. We are the best at finding solutions from chaos, and naturally, we get paid to be on the cutting edge. The most successful brands take this idea to the extreme. Their own lives become instruments subject to their destructive minds, all in the name of finding their edge. As younger artists, we attempt the same strategy. Believing in our inevitable success, we carefully destroy our lives through the same creative ritual. Most of us get stuck here indefinitely. What separates the artists that do make it is they find their way forward. They turn their hopeless situation into the greatest opportunity of their lives, simply because they had the courage to commit fully to this process. I'll describe what separates the path of a successful artist in this video, and how our favorite artists were able to find their way through the journey towards their impossible goals. Right now, we're seeing a shift from the corporate ethic of hard work, consistency, and grinding your way up to now a more individualized approach. If you want to thrive in a mostly online world, building on your own unique skill set, perspective, and instincts is way more important. This shift has opened plenty of doors for young artists to experiment with life, find what naturally fits them, and create in ways that suit their own personalities, rather than prioritizing what they think works or what they should do. In the past, this kind of artistic freedom was gatekept. You had to either be a trust fund kid to have that safety net, or you were just a normal guy dismissed as a slothful bum. Today, we kind of exist in a middle ground. Social media has made it easier than ever to get noticed, and more creators have a real shot at making it. The internet provides a new safety net. There's lower stakes with more opportunities that allow artists to take risks while hiding behind the mass of content that's out there. You get to hide in the shadows, experimenting until something starts to work. But despite this freedom, most artists remain stuck. The courage to step into the unknown and walk towards your own style is still rare, and self-awareness is often missing because everyone's just so young. Even with a wealth of information, many are lost, chasing their goals with surface-level advice and tasks meant to replace the uncomfortable experiences meant to be self-made. This lack of development explains why many artists don't get the recognition they expect. They're following someone else's path with strategies they haven't made their own. How could you expect to be known for your half-baked personality? In contrast, the artists who do succeed have those unique instincts. They force themselves to follow their own path, and oftentimes end up in a world of lost hope and chaos. An inverted world of stress, insane standards, and bad habits become their comfort zone. The difference is their commitment. Here, they get their edge. This destruction refines their instincts, simultaneously giving and revealing depths of themselves that guide their work. Here, they experience the opportunity to discover every corner of their being, gifting them with unrestricted intuition and the ability to see past others' opinions. They basically water the seeds of who they can and want to be. Divisive people have a ton of depth naturally. When they choose to be artists, they end up making the biggest impact because their explosive instincts are freed in this process. The part of themselves that knows how to grab attention is amplified. The same goes for anyone. Your natural gifts are heavily explored and amplified when you rely on just yourself and force yourself to find a solution. Although this same process traps many in endless cycles of destruction and despair. They just get addicted to the pain, purposefully remaining in a dark place because it seems to provide them with endless hope and motivation. Forever dreaming of the day the procrastination might end, always looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, the day they stop messing around and really get to work. What seems to forever elude us in this time is that the top artists live in this space indefinitely. They use it as a source of power. Instead of prioritizing personal progress and frankly feeling alright, they make their output the priority for certain lengths of time. They have a goal and put everything on the line if it's needed to get there. Young artists are stuck on trying to be more motivated and inspired. But the problem is, hope and motivation is the exact thing the journey is meant to destroy. Without humility and a willingness to be subject to the movement of the world, nothing gets done. Without discernment, we lack the ability to choose the right direction. Unable to move forward with the speed and strength that this process is meant to provide. Unable to even align with reality, and unable to destroy fantasies that don't give you strength. For many, talent alone can become a dead end. Artists can find themselves stuck within a certain space that constricts their freedom and creativity. The naming process ties you down to something that might not even be for you. Even calling yourself an artist can become a massive opportunity for artists to cop out and dumb themselves down. As an example, some underground artists might never realize they have the skills to make a way bigger impact simply because of what they are forced to call themselves. What they learn to lack is the confidence to lean onto their own individualized standards and the taste to understand the great art that exists out there. The exciting music that is immediately attention-grabbing is possible for so many, but we get stuck by imagining what's possible for us, completely ignoring that what we think is possible is constrained by our current developing standards and perhaps even low self-confidence. Many young artists don't understand how great their chances really are, so they get stuck in limbo. Their game becomes being the best at their own style, improving little things and messing with random variables, waiting for a magical moment where it all clicks. It never comes. That moment is supposed to be the moment when you raise your standards, when your personality can't be hindered by your work anymore. From there, it's easy. This limbo period sometimes looks like indulging in bad habits. Returning to a time from your childhood where you were content, playing video games, eating fast food, watching shows and movies to an almost insane amount. This can become how you remain content to keep yourself creating, and it's even how you get past the last 20% skill gap towards your goals. It's where you learn nuance. It may look different for you, but this chaotic stretch is the time period where you turn towards your bad habits, your demons, everything you think is holding you back, and you learn how to turn them into sources of fuel and power, coming up with new solutions and unique perspectives. This is how we learn self-mastery and attain confidence, throwing ourselves into impossible scenarios and finding a way through them. But don't expect anything from this period. That's not how it happens. These things just build up over time to keep you committed to your goals. At this point in your journey, you've probably built skills and nuance from all that time spent. You may have a ton of ideas and maybe you're executing them. You may have your own style and your own instinct was forged from your own unique world. It's developed and refined from the empty space that is invention. The chaotic lives of artists are their playgrounds for exploring the human psyche. And with chaos comes new knowledge. And with a commitment to the journey comes the knowledge you need to succeed. Ultimately, this is what the most famous creatives understand. While we're told to be obsessed over our goals by self-improvement pages and high-energy freaks that have already made it, there are thousands of artists in the spotlight moving at their own pace, taking years to release new work while their audiences eagerly wait. Of course, they earn that with hard work and great art, but they understand the difference between obsession and commitment. And anyone in any industry can benefit from that piece of information. Obsession is fleeting. It's something meant to be directed at times of high energy. It sparks your creativity, but eventually burns away. Meanwhile, a commitment to your goals is what houses these periods of obsession. It's what allows us to know where to direct the surplus energy in the first place. It's the foundation that lets you leverage bursts of energy and keep moving forward, even after failure. Here's an example.
I'm not in the studio right now, and everybody in my world thinks I'm crazy. What's going on? You need another album out. The time is running out. You have a certain window to make music. For a little while, I listened to that, and I was like in the studio working real hard, trying to get it done. And music was created, but it wasn't my best. And it wasn't my best because there was no substance. And there was no substance because there was no experience. I'd gone from the studio to the stage, back into the studio again. And the only reason why The Miseducation was the album it was because of a myriad of experiences that took place before the production part, before the creation.
What Lauryn Hill describes is the same process artists like Frank Ocean take advantage of. It's been 8 years since his last album, yet he's still in the studio, committed to the process of creation without knowing when his work will be great enough to release. His commitment, not always obsession, sustains him. In our journeys, this can look like setting a goal to release your next piece of work while not knowing when or how it will come about. Your energy may change, but even on lazy days, you're still taking everything you see and think it into your work later. Over time, something may click and makes its way onto the canvas and into the world. This may solve the biggest problem for young artists. How do you maintain the quality of your work or even raise your standards through failure? Algorithms and external pressures tempt us to settle for mediocrity. But if we give in, we lose opportunities to create work with real depth and meaning. Prioritizing our commitment may give us the answer. The hardest part of making it out of limbo is having the courage to continue to put all of yourself into your work, to still be vulnerable, even when you don't see hope. That rejection wears us down, and our anger with the world peaks when we feel this out of touch with our goals. That deadlock is where most artists quit. They give up, not knowing how close they were to clarity and success, not understanding the beautiful opportunity that lies in this exact moment. This phase, destruction, failure, and despair, is essential. It strips away fantasies and forces you to encounter reality. What does the world truly need from you? What do you truly want to create? Only here in this no man's land can you find the humility to work with what you have and move forward. On one hand, you lack direction because you're carving your unique path. On the other, you're stuck because you need more experience or knowledge. The key is staying committed to your goals, using everything to give you a hint as to what's next. Here's the thing, if you have an idea, it's your responsibility to bring it to life. Fully realize it or commit to the process. Whether you succeed or pivot, you'll find your way. It's within this journey that an artist becomes a vessel for the world, understanding its subtleties, how it moves, and how to position yourself within it. Even if you don't end up being an artist, this process is your path into the real world, a necessary achievement to get out of the way before you take on life's biggest challenges. You will know when it's over, but what makes you understand is a stubbornness to your own values and ideas. Paradoxically, committing to your own selfish goals and ideals helps you to understand the workings of the real world. The only way to survive is to commit until it's over. Let yourself be destroyed for your dreams. Maximize your luck. Only then do you have a chance of making it to the other side.